welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. I don't care if it's good, bad, doesn't matter. Just leave me a comment. Anyway, tonight we're going to be taking a look at Myron Gaines' old fitness videos because, after all, he likes to claim that you can get in shape by watching his old stuff. So let's take a look and see if that's really the case. Myron's been reposting some of these old videos, I guess, to try and get out of the fact that a lot of his recent videos have been getting ratioed all to hell. But let's take a look at some of the original ones and see what it is he has to say and whether it's actually worth listening to. So we're going to start with this one. It's called 8 Rules for Fat Loss.
What's up, guys? Myron Gaines here from Untitled Fitness.
Good God, he's got a very busy whiteboard here. Alright, let's see how this goes.
You know, you're probably wondering, how do I lose weight, man? I'm fat as fuck, man. I'm gonna show you guys how fat loss works today. As you guys can see, with my amazing artistic abilities, I know there's a lot to take in, but bear with me, I'm gonna explain everything. We're gonna go over fat loss
One eternity later.
You know, the prioritization of some of these elements, but the fact remains that calorie deficit is fucking required, okay? Protein is very important, and obviously you gotta exercise and monitor what you're doing. So, and behavior and lifestyle and adherence outweigh everything else. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and I'll get you on the next one.
Okay. Finally woke up. To be fair, Myron gets most things right in this video, but the presentation is a bit like he's directly reading out of a textbook. Unless you're trying to understand the biochemistry of it all, you really don't need all the information he's providing in this video. It's better just to keep it simple. So, what do you need to know? So there's two ways of saying this, but either way it works out the same thing, which is calories in, calories out, or move more, eat less. They're equivalent. There's not a single person that's ever existed in the face of the earth that can violate the first law of thermodynamics. For those of you who weren't physics majors or didn't take a physics class, it means that you can't create energy out of thin air. You can't create energy out of nothing. If you're gaining weight, that means that you're eating more than you're burning. If you're losing weight, that means you are burning more than you're eating. It's that simple. So whatever your goal is, if your goal is to lose weight, which is what the focus of this video is, it means that you need to eat less than you burn on a daily basis. Frankly, statistics show that 70% of you guys, that's going to be the situation you're in. You're going to be trying to lose weight, not gain it. So that you need to eat less and you need to move more. I'll get into the diets in a little bit, but regardless of which diet you're on, you'll find it helpful to start tracking your calories. There are a bunch of apps out there. I use MyFitnessPal. Another popular one is Chronometer. If you're following David De Las Marinas' channel, he's got the Beastly app that not only has the ability to track your calories, it also has some menu options and some workout programs that you can use. I would probably switch from MyFitnessPal to the Beastly app if the Beastly app allowed me to do some custom workout plans that involved calisthenics instead of just David's custom-built workout programs. Not that there's anything wrong with the workout programs, it's just I already have mine. I already have what I'm trying to do, so it would be beneficial if that was already there. By tracking your calories, you can see how much you're actually consuming and adjust accordingly. So if you're eating 2,200 calories on average every day and you're gaining weight, that means that you need to lower your calorie intake from 22 to, say, 2,000. You also by tracking it, it allows you to see if you think you're eating 2,000 calories, but you're actually eating 2,500, you can fix that. Either increase your activity or lower your calories to actually what you thought you were eating. I do agree with him that resistance training needs to be the cornerstone of your training and that you should avoid CrossFit. Not a big fan of CrossFit. Sorry, you guys that like it, but not my cup of tea. It's too easy to get injured doing compound lifts that you haven't been trained for. So jumping in as a beginner, trying to do power cleans and cleans and jerks and things like that, very risky. I disagree with his view on cardio. We're going to get to that more because he did make 2 separate videos on it. So we'll touch on that later. He does start with an important topic, but he only touches on it. He doesn't go deep into it. Consistency is the key. You must dedicate yourself to improving your fitness and nutrition. It has to be a daily thing. You have to continue to do it day in, day out, consistently for months and months on end, which is why a lot of these fad diets aren't going to be useful because you can't sustain them for a long period of time. If you work out 1 day a month, you're not going to get results. If you control your calories only 1 day a week, you're not going to get results. You've got to stick with it. Again, this is why your nutrition plan and your workout plan has to be sustainable. You have to enjoy what you're eating. You have to enjoy how you're working out and to actually get results. If you hate training, you're just not going to do it. Another interesting thing he touches on very briefly, but doesn't go into details on, is sleep. A lot of people underestimate how important getting enough sleep is for losing weight or just health in general. When you're training, especially when you're trying to lose weight, you need to ensure that you get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes you even need 8 to 10, and it needs to be you have to get that amount consistently. This allows your body to recover and keep all your hormones in check. It also allows you to, your body to heal and get all those gains that you're working for. The time of my life where I got the most out of shape, I was working 12 to 16 hours a day and eating like crap and only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I felt like crap. I got put on about 30 pounds in about 6 months. Getting the proper amount of sleep is almost as important as making sure that your diet and training are lined up properly. Another interesting topic that he didn't touch on at all, and it's a very common question, is can you spot reduce fat? The answer is yes and no. Stick with me for a second. Don't scream yet. Yes, you can get liposuction and surgery to reduce fat from very specific sections of your body, but that's literally the only way you can spot reduce fat. Without these surgical approaches, when you lose fat, your body's going to lose it throughout your body, and it's typically going to be lost in the reverse order that it was gained. When you gain weight, if you put on weight on your stomach first, that's going to be the last place that it falls off. If you put on weight on your butt last, that's going to be the first place that it falls off, in general. He did mention in the video that protein is important, but he never mentioned how much protein you really should eat. The quick and dirty metric you'll see a lot of bodybuilders use is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is a rule of thumb that will get you right in the right range. However, studies have shown you don't really need that much. Personally, I like to stick between 0.7 grams and 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you want more details on this, Jeff Nippard, I believe, had quite a few videos where he went into the details on the studies. I'd recommend checking those out. It gives you kind of an in-depth look at the scientific literature, and you can judge for yourself. I would just stick to that range personally. It just makes it easier. I made a video almost a year ago talking about what is the best diet. On almost any fitness forum, you'll find some people that'll claim keto is the best, or intermittent fasting, or Weight Watchers, etc. It doesn't really matter what diet, whatever diet they're on currently is the best diet. The truth is that these fad diets tend to be unsustainable over the long term. They aren't enjoyable. They cut out huge amounts of food that you enjoy eating, and a lot of times they have other side effects. Keto in particular has some really bad side effects with hormone levels if you're not careful. The basic idea behind all these diets is you're playing tricks with your body to get into a caloric deficit. Once you reach your goal, you have to adjust your diet accordingly. So you have to get back to a maintenance level. It means reintroducing things that you've cut out or increasing the amount of stuff that you are eating so that your calories are back up to a normal level. What a lot of people end up doing is, and I talked about this in my previous video, is yo-yo dieting. They'll go on a fad diet, get down to the weight they want to get to, and then they start eating like they were before they went on the diet, and then they gain all the weight back very quickly. It's much better, and Greg Doucette talks about this all the time, so if you want to check out his channel for that, it's much better to eat a diet that's sustainable all the time, and you can adjust your calories within that diet. So whatever foods you like to eat, you adjust the amount. He doesn't go too deep into this topic, but what he says is correct. So overall, I would give this video a B-. There's a lot of scientific information he didn't need to include, and there's some topics that he could have gone into a little bit deeper that I think are more important, but overall, not terrible.
What's up, guys? Myron from Unplugged Lifestyle. As you guys can see, I got my Unplugged Fitness shirt on, which means we're going to talk about fitness, and I can't wait for this video to get 1/3 of the views from my womanizing videos. Today,
I love how he admits that guys aren't watching his fitness advice. They only care about the dating stuff because they always, like he said, he always likes to say, "We've got all this other stuff." Yeah, but if the guys aren't watching that other stuff and and it's a fraction of the stuff that you put out, is it really benefiting the guys? Just an interesting point that I noticed there. I'm not going to play this whole video because, frankly, this is the only video that I pulled where I agree with almost 100% of what he says in it. So it'd be kind of silly for me to play it and just go, I agree. It's also the only fitness video that I've seen where he isn't coming across like he's just reading a textbook. It actually looks like he's done the research and understands the material on this topic. For those wondering, yes, the body somatotypes is complete pseudoscience nonsense.
what's up, guys? Myron Gaines here from Unplugged Fitness. Well, actually, it's Unplugged Lifestyle, but I got the Unplugged Fitness shirt on right now. Can't wait for this video to get 1/3 of the views of my dating videos, but whatever.
Again, he notices that the guys aren't watching the fitness content. And this is even before they made it big. Like they're watching the dating content. So how do you claim that you're helping guys with fitness when they aren't watching your fitness stuff?
So today's topic, guys, we're going to talk about calisthenics,
cardio in the
okay?
intro.
Obviously, the beer bug, right, that's been going on. Things are finally starting to open up, and let's keep it real. A lot of you guys are not renewing your gym membership, all right? You guys are going to keep doing calisthenics like you've been doing. And one of the common questions I get all the time is, hey, Myron, can I do calisthenics and make gains? Can I? Can I? Please, man, tell me. Tell me. Of course you can. I'm here to tell you how. Guys, with calisthenics, you can absolutely make hypertrophy gains. The thing you got to understand, though, number one, you're going to have to be really cognizant of your progressive overload. Obviously, you're not lifting weights, you're using your body weight. So you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to how many sets you're doing, how many reps you're doing, week to week, month to month. Okay, versus when you're using traditional weights, it's very easy to track because I did 35 last week, now I'm doing 37.5. You got to really be on top of your progress with calisthenics, right? The way that you're typically going to increase your workload, right? Because we know hypertrophy, a big driving force for it is volume, is you're going to probably have to do more sets. The other thing with calisthenics is you're going to have to push fairly close to failure to get the same stimuli that you would with traditional weight. Let's say your max push-ups is 50, right? You're gonna have to be pushing and doing sets of 40, 42, high 30s maybe, multiple sets getting close to failure every single time to be able to stimulate the muscle to grow. With that,
Yes, just like weight training, you need to make use of progressive overload in calisthenics. The difference, and I can't really fault him for this, because if you just went and got a physical training certification, which is what I believe he did, and didn't actually spend any time studying calisthenics, you're probably not going to realize this, but you're not trying to increase your sets and reps when calisthenics, but you want to change your leverage. So doing 40 push-ups is not going to work on hypertrophy. It's going to work on endurance. There's nothing wrong with that, but if your goal is to grow your muscle, you've got to do it differently. I'll give you a quick breakdown of how this works, but there's a couple channels that I'm going to give you here in a minute that I'll recommend that you can go check out to give more details as to higher level. Specifically, Austin Dunham's main channel, Simon Atta, Simon Sir, he has a channel. He's actually the one that created the calisthenics program that I was doing before I got hurt. Daniel, I believe his name's Dunval. I think it's Dunval. Fitness FAQs is the channel on YouTube. As he mentions, weights does make it easy because it's easy to figure out, all right, I did a set of 10 at 125 last week. I'm doing a set of 10 at 130 this week. Therefore, I increased. So I'm continuing to make improvements. With calisthenics, it's a little different. You want to make the exercise harder, and you do that typically by changing the leverage arm. For example, with push-ups, if you're doing 20 push-ups easily, start doing archer push-ups or elevated push-ups. Archer push-ups will start working towards a one-arm push-up type scenario where your elevated push-ups are going to increase the amount of weight that your body is adding to the push-up. Instead of your legs not really being involved other than stabilizing you, you're actually adding the weight of your legs to your push. On top of that, you can also add weight to the push-up. You can put a weight vest on or a weight belt in some exercises and increase the weight that you're doing on the exercise. So for a push-up, you add a weight vest. You may want to elevate yourself just to make room for the vest, but you at that point increased the amount of resistance you're getting by adding to your body weight with a weighted vest. If you watch Austin Dunham's channel, you'll see that quite often he'll do pull-ups, but he does his pull-ups weighted, and it's a massive strength gain you get when you add an extra 130 pounds to your pull-up. So with calisthenics, you're not necessarily looking to add sets and reps. You're looking to change, or you're looking to make the exercise more difficult. A lot of times this is done by what's called progressing to the next level of the exercise, which in effect is changing the leverage arm of the exercise, or adding weight, or a combination of both. With calisthenics, you actually have more options on reaching progressive overload than you typically have with traditional weight training, which is the main way in traditional weight training is just adding more weight.
Said, as far as like maintaining your muscular development, calisthenics is an excellent way to do it, guys. During this beer bug, I was just doing push-ups, pull-ups, using water jugs to curl, and I still maintained these mediocre gains. For you guys out there that want to maintain your physiques, you can absolutely do it on calisthenics. Just like I said, you're going to have to focus on pushing a little bit closer to failure, keeping the intensity high. You can do this by, shortening your rest periods, doing more reps, doing more sets. There's a bunch of different factors that you can use, increasing the weights, increasing the lowering of yourself, right? Like let's say you do push-ups really slow, or you do pull-ups really slow and lower yourself down slowly. These are ways to change up your training.
I'm glad you mentioned this, because one way you can make your training harder, and this is not just specific to calisthenics, but also to weight training, is by changing the tempo of the exercise. If you're doing bench press and you take longer to lower it, and then you hold it, and then you push it up slow instead of pushing it up immediately, you're keeping your muscle time under tension very high. And that will allow you to get exhaust your muscle much faster. It allows you to keep control and gain more form. You can get a very hard workout with less weight by changing up the tempo of the exercise.
Make it a little bit more difficult, increase your time under tension. With that said, guys, to answer your question, yes, you can make excellent gains on calisthenics alone. And on top of that, you can use calisthenics to preserve any hard-earned lean body mass that you may have. If I'm not mistaken, you only need about 40% of your 1 rep max doing calisthenics to maintain your muscle. So that's not really that much, guys. It's like, if you can do 100 push-ups, do 40 push-ups, and you're gonna maintain all your gains pretty much. But, I suggest you do more than that. That's like bare minimum, guys. Do 50 or 60 or something. Negatives and positives of calisthenics. Completely forgot about this. Positives, okay? You can work out anywhere. You don't need equipment. And if you're a cheapskate, excellent. You can do it anywhere without paying a lot of money. Negatives. It's harder to track. Like I said before, progressive overload. It gets boring and monotonous sometimes. You have to get creative with the way you train. And quite frankly, man, you're not lifting traditional weights, which is more fun for most people. Most people enjoy traditional weights more than calisthenics, right? All right.
Not sure I agree with that last point. Take a look at the attention you'll get from a guy who does like a full ice cream maker, or a front lever or back lever, or even a 90-degree handstand push-up in the middle of a gym, and compare that to guys just who are over on a bench doing 400 pounds. Who's having more fun? Take a look at the videos with Austin Dunham while he and his buddies are doing 90-degree handstand push-ups in the gym, and tell me he's not having more fun than the guy who's over there like struggling to do 400 pounds on the bench press. In fairness, if you're not progressing your calisthenics exercises, you're not working towards a goal, then he's correct. You're probably not having fun. If you're just doing normal push-ups, you're just doing dips, you're just doing pull-ups, and you're not progressing to the harder skills, yeah, you're probably going to get boring. It's going to get a little monotonous. But if you are coming up with goals and skills that you want to learn, you can have a lot of fun with calisthenics. Overall, I'd give that video in particular an A-. The only pieces that I disagreed with were details, and that's largely because it's likely he hasn't focused his attention on learning what you can do with calisthenics. Overall, the information wasn't terrible, yes. Now, he doesn't give a calisthenic workout program. He's just talking about the benefits of it. This one is look good on the beach. And
what's up, guys? Myron Gaines here from
Oh, great. Another pyramid. Is he trying to put us to sleep, or maybe he's just trying to copy Jeff Nippard's old videos? I don't know. So in fairness, most of the information in this video is pretty decent, but once again, this feels like somebody who is, reading a textbook to the camera. The key to growing muscles is progressive overload and doing it consistently. Stimulate the muscles enough each week, eat properly, get enough sleep, and your muscles get bigger. Overall, we give this video an A. He gets it correct. The only minor complaint is it's a bit like sitting in a classroom and listening to somebody talk about the scientific research and not giving you a whole lot of practical application of, and really the one practical bit of advice is stick the rep range to 6 to 15, which pretty much any physical trainer is going to recommend anyway, because that's pretty standard.
What's up, guys? It's Myron Gaines from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Today we're going to talk about, should you run to get an aesthetic physique? Does it help? Is it counterproductive? Let's get into it. So I get this question all the time, guys. Hey, should I run? Should I not run? I want to lose weight. I want to get a better body composition. How do I go about this? Well, you guys got to understand that if your goal is to lose, well, let's define what a good body composition is. What do you guys really want? Most of you guys that are watching me, you want to look good naked so you can get more girls, right? Yeah. So what that means is you need to build an aesthetic physique. So you want to basically have a high lean body mass to fat mass ratio, okay? Because the more lean body mass you have and the lower your body fat levels, the better you're going to look in general. To get a look like that, to get that muscular, ripped, athletic look, you need to get in the gym and resistance train, whether it's through bands, calisthenics, lifting weights traditionally with dumbbells and barbells. You need to make resistance training the cornerstone of your training. Then, if you're having issues with losing weight, you can add in the cardio, but you should be putting the resistance training first priority. Second is your diet. And what I mean by that is you need to...
No. Not all wrong. The cornerstone piece is not wrong. The first priority is your diet. You doesn't matter how hard you train. If your diet is not in check, you're going to have a hard time fixing the problem. So the first thing you have to do is get your diet in order. You can do this at the same time, but that is your priority. Eating right will help you with your training. Training and eating crap is going to leave you feeling like crap. I'll touch on the supplemental cardio comment in a minute because that's the focus of the whole video, so I don't want to give away my commentary on that just yet.
To put yourself in a slight calorie deficit. 300 to 500 calories per day below your maintenance calories. That's going to put you in a slight deficit to the point where you're able to retain lean body mass, keep performance up, and more importantly, be able to sustain the diet long term. Because guys, dieting is a journey. You don't want to crash diet. Crash dieting basically gets you, it's a short-term solution to a long-term problem, and you're going to end up not being able to sustain the diet. Then you're going to regress and then go right back into being fat again. So you got to focus on slowly dieting down. Now, when you hit a plateau with the diet, this is when you can start incorporating running. Running, though, you need to be very careful with it because you don't want it to impede your ability to recover. Because you guys got to remember, when you put yourself in a calorie deficit, especially for an extended period of time, one of the first things that goes down with it is the ability to recover. So you need to prioritize your energy towards the resistance training because that's what's going to preserve the lean body mass that you fought so hard to get in the first place. Then you can supplement and add the running and or cardiovascular activity to help induce a calorie deficit. As far as particular types of running, if you're going to do it, guys, I don't suggest running miles upon miles. You're going to burn a lot of lean body mass. You're going to tire yourself out. It's going to impede your ability to recover from the resistance training. And quite frankly, I don't know about you guys, but anytime I run miles and miles, I notice that my strength drops drastically in the gym. Focus on the resistance training at sprinkling the running.
Once you have your nutrition in order, yes, resistance training should be the main focus of your workout. However, this only do cardio to help you induce a calorie deficit is complete nonsense. Junk. And I even put this comment on the video. This was back when it was originally posted. He reposted this video, I believe, not too long ago. But this video was originally posted last December where I had this comment and we had an exchange. This is actually what made me skeptical about Myron's fitness credentials. Cardio improves your lungs, improves your heart, improves your endurance, and helps you burn fat. You want to look better with your clothes off, right? You want to last longer, when your clothes are off, right? Do cardio. Just make sure you don't do the cardio before your resistance training.
Now, if you are going to do cardio, conventional cardio where you're running and stuff like that, I suggest that you guys do sprints or high intensity interval training, HIIT in other words. And then number 3, when you hit a plateau with a calorie deficit, and you don't want to cut calories anymore, this is when you can start to introduce cardio. Now, if you're going to do cardio, like I said, I suggest you don't do miles upon miles of running. Instead, do high intensity interval training or very slow brisk walk, you know, where you're like walking on a treadmill or doing a stair climb or whatever. Basically, it's either got to be fairly easy for a long duration of time or very hard for a short duration of time. You don't want to be in this gray middle ground area where you're running like, you know, an 8-minute mile and everything like that and doing that for multiple miles. That's going to be the least productive as far as improving your body composition, okay?
The irony of telling people not to do cardio is he competed in an aerobic sport in college. He did crew. So he was rowing. This recommendation is all wrong. You should not avoid cardio until you hit a plateau. Do your freaking cardio. It's good for you. It'll help you both look good and perform better. And the notion that you can look like an athlete without training like an athlete is flat out nonsense.
Guys, if you want to look like an athlete, you got to train like an athlete.
So structure your training so that resistance training is done when you have the most energy. This means hold off on your cardio until after your resistance training. It doesn't mean don't do your cardio. That means do it after. It should be obvious, but the reason is pretty simple. You don't want to be trying to go harder than last time.
Harder than friggin' last time!
When you're tired. It will slow down your progress and increase your chance of injury. To add insult to injury, Myron didn't just make one video telling guys not to do cardio. He made 2 videos telling guys not to do cardio.
Gains here with So One. Today we're going to talk about cardio. Is it good for you? Is it bad? Does it help you lose fat? Is it counterproductive? Let's get into it. So, cardio. There's 2 main reasons people do it. A, to burn body fat, or B, for health reasons. Now, in an ideal world, you're doing it for both and both are occurring at the same time.
Yes, you're doing it for both and doing it at the same time. And that's why you should do it and not avoid it.
But the reality, guys, is that cardio is a very inefficient way to burn fat. I'm going to get into and explain why.
Because they want that slim, like toned body, but I'm here to tell you, like, you need to do resistance training. And the reason why you don't want to overdo your cardio is because your body will get used to the cardio. So let's say you start running a mile, right? So you do that for like 3 weeks. Eventually your body's gonna get used to that and you're not gonna lose fat. So you're gonna eventually have to up it up to like 2 miles. So eventually if you do one for a year from now, what are you gonna run like 50 miles a day? Like you can't. The best way to implement cardio into your workout routine is to know how to manipulate it into your workout plan.
They start off by saying that you're gonna do cardio for health reasons, which is your lungs and your heart, and fat loss, because it burns calories. And then they go down this rabbit hole of only discussing fat loss. If you're only doing cardio for fat loss, you're doing it wrong. Cardio should be done to improve your fitness overall. Telling people to hold off on cardio until they reach a plateau in fat loss is asinine. If you find a personal trainer that tells you to hold off on cardio, fire that one and hire a new personal trainer. She is correct that your body's going to adjust to the stimuli you give it. So if you run a mile each day this week, next week you'll be able to run that same mile a little faster. Or eventually you may be able to increase it to 2 miles in the same amount of time it took you to run that 1 mile. So now where I do slightly agree is don't take it to an extreme. You don't need to run a marathon every day. But 15 to 30 minutes of cardio every day is good for you in more ways than just fat loss.
Instead of doing cardio like 5 days a week, you can start off by once a week. But personally for me, when I coach my clients, I like to push off the cardio as much as I can because you still could lose weight just off of resistance training because like we all say, as long as you're in a caloric deficit, you're gonna lose fat.
You want to do the minimum effective dose and do the least amount of cardio required for you to lose weight. If you can get away without doing any cardio and just lifting weights and keeping your diet in check, do that. That way you can maximize recovery in between training and you can focus on preserving as much lean body mass as possible. Now,
this is the Derrick Jackson approach to fitness. He's telling people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. Most people just don't have cardio they enjoy doing, so they don't want to do it. Find a form of cardio you enjoy. It doesn't have to be running. You can jump rope, you can ride a bike, you can go swimming. Find any form of cardio that you enjoy and do it consistently. You don't have to do a lot of it every day. Just do it. So if you finish your workout and you go jump in the pool and you swim laps for 15, 20 minutes, that's fine. If you finish your workout and you want to go run 5 miles, that's fine too. Whatever it is, do some freaking cardio. It will help you not only lose weight, but also help you keep your heart strong and develop your lung capacity. When your endurance is higher, you can lift longer, which will help you in your resistance training. So it helps when you are doing it the right way. What they're talking about is only focused on fat loss.
But guess what? You want to be natural and recover faster? Cardio!
So I think I know where he's getting this idea, and it's flawed. There is a doctor on Instagram,
Dr. Spencer Nadolski, had made some comments. He was saying that, in my impression, he was trying to say that it was more important to do weights for burning fat or to keep weight off than cardio.
This doctor doesn't recommend cardio for his patients because his patients are severely overweight, like talking 250 pounds plus. Yes, I agree at that point, because they can't do the cardio. There's no way that you're going to have them go out there and walk a mile, much less run a mile. So instead, what he recommends doing is circuit training for his guys, which is effectively doing cardio with your resistance training. I think that's where he's getting it from, but I think he's misinterpreting it, or he's assuming that everybody is severely obese. And, but if you're trying to lose 10, 15, 20, 30, even 50 pounds, hell, even if you're trying to lose up to 100 pounds to get down to where you should be, then you need to do some form of cardio. I'm going to throw up a few pictures of guys who have cardio as part of their training regimen. Tell me if you think that their physiques aren't aesthetic. So here's Greg Doucette. Here's Austin Dunham. Here's Kyle Dake, who is an Olympic bronze medalist at the 74 kilogram weight class. And here is Jordan Burroughs, who's a former Olympic gold medalist at the 74 kilogram. And Andrew Tate, who is a world champion kickboxer. If you want to look like an athlete, you have to train like an athlete. There are no shortcuts.
Guys, you want to look like an athlete, you got to train like an athlete.
LISS is low intensity steady state. MISS is medium intensity steady state. HIIT is high intensity interval training, which is better.
It doesn't matter!
The short answer is do whatever you enjoy, because you're more likely to do it. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to do it very long. When I was wrestling in high school and college, I would lift for 60 to 90 minutes before practice. Practice was about 3 hours long. The first 2 hours of that was skill training, and then we would do matches for about another hour. After the matches, we would do roughly 20 to 30 minutes of HIIT training, and then when I got home, I'd run another 3 to 5 miles at a 5 to 6 minute pace. So all of that, mostly medium intensity steady state and HIIT, and that's what I did 5 to 6 days a week. But Myron said you'd lose your gains. Pull up any wrestling match that involves Iowa, Minnesota, or Penn State, and focus on the middleweights, anything from the 143 pound to about the 184 pound weight classes. Virtually all of them are jacked. They are ripped to shreds. All of them are going to do a lot of resistance training and a lot of cardio. And you will see the same thing when you go into a boxing gym or an MMA gym that trains professional fighters. Same type of thing. If you want to look like those guys, you have to train like those guys. If there's a way to get the same performance with less work, believe me, they would be doing it. All right, the principles are pretty simple, but generally people fail in the execution. Eat right, resistance train consistently with a focus on hypertrophy, and do some cardio. The Adonis ratio is really what guys are looking for, which is your shoulders to waist ratio is about 1.618. 1.6 is, if you get close to 1.6, you're fine. Which means you want your shoulders to be about 60% wider than your waist. Eating right and burning calories will help get your waist slimmer. Lifting, specifically a lot of upper body lifts, will help widen your shoulders. Myron likes to claim that guys can get in better shape by watching his fitness playlist. Personally, I would prefer better creators for the fitness stuff. So Calisthenics, I would go with Austin Dunham or Fitness FAQs. Even Simon Sir, if you want to check out his channel, he's got some good tips in there. But Austin Dunham and Fitness FAQs have a lot of very detailed videos talking you through very specific movements and even giving you some workouts. For more general information, if you're a beginner, Athlean-X isn't bad. Their older stuff, not their newer stuff, the older stuff. More Plates, More Dates. Derrick and Greg Doucette also have a lot of general fitness advice. In addition to talking about supplements, both the over-the-counter stuff and the less legal stuff. Training videos, Johnny Shreves has a lot of good workout tips and a lot of focus on form, a lot of details on specific movements and how you should do them to avoid injury and to get the most benefit. Jeff Nifford is another one. He does a lot of scientific research studies. He's a good one if you want to know the scientific backing. He does have some like follow-along stuff he gives away for free, which is not bad. And for those of you who are looking at what you can do as a non-enhanced athlete, he's a good one to start with because he likes to compete naturally. And if you're looking for fitness entertainment, Jesse James West personally is one of my favorites. He's doing more of a vlog stuff recently, but a lot of his older stuff is a lot of fitness comedy and fitness entertainment value along with it. And even in his new stuff, he still fits in workout stuff along with it. Myron gets enough right where I wouldn't classify him as a scammer, but enough wrong where I wouldn't want him training anybody I know. I'd recommend going to one of the other content creators to get better information. So take that for what you will. Overall, yeah, especially with the cardio videos, I give an F to. It's all wrong on those. And but the other stuff, the scientific stuff he gets into, it's not bad. It's just not all that practical for you guys. So the other channels give you a lot more practical. They give you some workout programs that are focused on specific goals. Also have programs you can purchase to go more in depth on them. Ending it here. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment telling me that I'm all wrong. And I will catch you in the next one. Keep improving.